What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all well. It's all over the place tonight with people, which is why we don't even have the Race for Europe banner behind. I don't even know who's coming on and who's not at the moment, but there's the five of us here, so we'll leave it as it is. I hope you're all well. Big up Billy, big up Lawless, big up Pete, and big up Dan, who's sunning it up in Corfu. Big up for coming on, mate. We should have LB and Errol joining us at some point, but Maz is not about tonight. I think he's too busy crying into his tissues after getting spanked 6-1 by Villa, but he'll be back next week, I'm sure. Let's start with Mr. Ten Hag. Yet again, Manchester United shit the bed. And it is looking at the moment like this guy has not got much longer left, because you look absolutely terrible. Manchester United are shocking. And it was mad because I was on Kaz's channel, Never a Foul, earlier, and somebody put in the chat, I think Man United might miss Anthony. And I thought, wow. I mean, if Manchester United miss Anthony, there is a world of pain. They're in even bigger trouble than I even think. And I think Man United are in an awful lot of trouble. Me and Lawless were on Matisse channel not long ago, and I predicted that Man United will probably have a shocker and come 7th or 8th. And it's looking like I might have given you a little bit of optimism there, because it's looking like it might be 11th or 12th at the moment. I don't know how this gets better, Dan. Like, I know you've got injuries, you've had injuries, and things might pick up. But, I wasn't going to start with Man United tonight. I was going to start with LB. I was going to start with, obviously, ripping into Maz and Billy. Start with a little bit of VAR. But seeing as Errol and LB have become late, we might as well start with Ten Hag and Man United. I don't know where this gets better for you, Dan. I really don't, man.
Well, first and foremost, let's call one thing out, right? This is the second time that Maz has ducked and having a thrashing. So I want the people who are watching to remind him of this when he comes on with his chest and does the whole, we're in contention. I want you all to, and I feel a bit like Lawless here, but I want you all to remember this, okay? Because I've been here with the 7-0s, I've been here with the 4-0s, the 5-0s, I've been here through all of it, and it seems to be there's a bit of a pattern here. On the other side of it, United, what can I say? I mean, literally booked a holiday to escape hell before we went on holiday. Watched the game. It was horrendous. It's the whole stop-start situation. We have 2 results against Burnley and Palace in the cup, and we think, yeah, okay, well, there seems to be a bit of consistency here. It looks like he's starting to get a bit of his team back, and the players are knuckling down. And then it just goes to that on Saturday. I watched it, and we could have played for 7 hours. We wouldn't have scored. There was just nothing there. Players playing in positions I don't think they should be playing. Amrabat's not a left back. He obviously had a good game in the cup. Played left back on Saturday, and I think was very fortunate not to give away a penalty. Probably fortunate not to get a second yellow. So yeah, it's a mess. I go back to what I said a couple of weeks ago about him. Obviously, people are saying, has he got long left in the job? He has. I don't see them sacking him for 2 reasons. One, I don't think we could afford to sack him. And 2, I don't think you go out there and get anybody else. I mean, who's out there available at the moment that would come to Manchester United? I genuinely can't see it. I can't. You've got the likes of Luis Enrique's, the Mancini's. I know Luis Enrique's at PSG. Sorry, the Mancini's about, but I don't see it. So I think he stays. I think there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than I think we all would like to believe is happening. I do feel like the squad is being shown as to what they truly are, which is what I said in pre-season. A lot of dead wood, a lot of players here that don't belong at that club. But then the flip side of that is, you can't keep blaming the Maguires, you can't keep blaming the McTominays, you can't keep blaming the Martials. Rashford got took off on 77th minute. There's something fundamentally wrong there. Now, you have to look at the manager. You do. I'm not stupid enough to sit here and say Ten Hag's doing a blinding job, but there's something seriously rotten there, which we've known. It's been, we've had moments of okay, it's looking okay, and then we go back to mediocre. It's the same old pattern. We bring a new manager in, we have a good season. The second season, we're absolutely awful. Bring a new manager in, spend the money, a good season, get rid of that manager. It's a cycle that's going to keep going and going. I'm going to say something here that I think Man United fans are probably going to mock me for, but I'd happily take us not finishing in Europe all this season if it meant that next season the Glazers are gone and we have a complete fresh start and just get everything out. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. But it's one of them. I mean, how many losses is it now? This is our worst start to a Premier League season in our history. Go play, boys. What do you think?
The thing is, Dan, right? Before I bring Lawless in, I want to say this because people are saying it's not Ten Hag, it's not Ten Hag. And I was one of those a few weeks ago. I thought, yeah, it's above him. They ain't really done much enough in the transfer window. But I'm looking at this season alone. Let's forget what he's done previously and what he might do. This season alone, everybody's saying this Anana's not that great. Oh, the fullbacks are an issue because they're injured. Oh, the centre half doesn't look quite right. Martinez. Oh, it's not quite working in midfield. Casemiro, has he lost it? Mason Mount. Oh, no, that ain't working. Marcus Rashford. Bruno, what a disgrace. Hoyland up top on his own. What a lot of pressure on him. Anthony, Sancho. That's every single player that Man United have. So you can blame the players and say they might have to need to look at themselves, but surely the manager has to look at themselves as well and say, why can I not get these team playing? Because those players I've just mentioned, they're not championship level. You know, they're on a hell of a lot of money. You know, and I'm hearing Bruno and Rashford getting a lot of stick at the moment. And you know, for me, rightly so, Bruno, I never understood why you give him the captaincy. That was a madness for me. But, you know, Rashford as well, it looks like he's showing the form of him a couple of years ago as opposed to the Rashford he saw last year. You know, I'll ask Lawless, like, where do they go from here, Man United, Dan?
First off, I mean, you know, shout out to Dan's vanilla ice high top he's got going on today, it looks like. Looking like very clean and crisp and square on the top.
Thank you.
But
thank you, mate. You're just jealous because you can't do it anymore, mate. It's been years since you can do it.
Listen, I'll go to Turkey. Like a lot of people, I could go Turkey, mate. It's there for me if I want it. But listen, Tobes could never rattle me. But Man United, yeah, where do they go? There's a lot of hopium there, like, you know, if we can just have a crap season this season, you know, maybe the Glazers will finally go. Like, let's try and pluck a positive out of being shit. The Glazers are going to go when they're good and ready. They want a lot of money for that club, and it seems like they're not willing to take much less, really. So it just seems to be how much these potential new owners want, you know, when it comes to how much they want the club, basically. So yeah, I can't see Man United if they sack Ten Hag, which Ten Hag, yeah, he's got a lot to answer for. Mason Mount, I mean, that signing's looking horrendous. But yeah, I mean, they can get Mancini, they can get Zidane, they can get whoever. It's the same story. I've just seen it in a cycle. You know, I've met some Man United mates. I follow them on Twitter, and I see them make the same tweets, the same posts under the different managers. It's just a cycle, and you know, there's no coming out of it. And yeah, maybe the Glazers do finally go in a couple of years, and you get new owners, but then, you know, maybe things get better, but maybe they don't. You know, I think they could be stuck in this misery for a long time. But I've got two questions for you, Dan. First of all, how did Johnny Evans get on? Because that's what he was really looking forward to. But I saw a lot of fans talk about, obviously you played Palace in the Cup, right? And you won. Now, I saw Man United fans waxing lyrical over that performance, saying how brilliant it was. And they was complaining, so well, why didn't we just play the same team that played so well against Palace in the Cup? Was you of that opinion yourself?
No, because Palace played a weakened side in the Cup, and this is why I didn't get too gassed. Palace rested a lot of players, and you could see that. Hodgson was never going to go to Old Trafford twice in a week and play the same team. He may be 164, but he's not that stupid. He knows the game. And actually, Hodgson on the back of it's got a very good record at Old Trafford. You know, if you look at his records, managerial, very very good record. What was the first question? Sorry, Lawless.
How'd Johnny Evans get on? That was what you was really excited.
That's Sir Johnny Evans to you, mate. That's Sir Johnny Evans to you. I don't think he got on the pitch, did he?
I was going to say that's what he was really looking forward to seeing. Johnny Evans.
Do you know what, mate? When he scored against Burnley, and I thought it was a goal. God, I was like, this is it. He's come home. But You're right. You're right in everything you're saying there. To be fair, Lawless, I think it doesn't matter who we bring in. And Potts, I've said this to you before, and I've said it to LB. We could bring Pep in. We'd do nothing.
Yeah.
The club needs it needs reshaping from the top to the bottom. And it's I know that's an easy cop out to say. I know that I can sit here and say that, and I know that the rival fans will say it's an easy thing to say, but it's true. That's what it needs. The club is rotten. The coach. It is, isn't it? It's from the top to the bottom. The coaching staff, the people upstairs. It's a disgrace. There's no way a club that is supposedly, and I'd like to bring this back. I said a few weeks ago, Man United aren't a big club anymore. I said that because we're not run like a big club. Until we start being run like a big club, we're going to be in this cycle for the next 10, 15, 20 years.
And it's not an easy thing to say. It's a reality. And I'm saying that as a Newcastle fan, because it wasn't long ago that everyone was saying it about us, that we're a yo-yo club, that we're a championship club, that we're a club that's going nowhere under our previous owner. And it was the ownership. Everyone knew it. It got to the point where even the likes of Carragher and Neville were pointing it out, and they were staunch supporters of Mike Ashley 2 or 3 years previous. And all of a sudden, they're even saying, "Yeah, the owner, he needs to go. It's time for him to go." And look what we've achieved in those 18 months now. Like, with new owners for you guys that got ambition, that want the best for the club, that want to improve every inch of the club, like what is happening to us right now. You need owners that actually genuinely want to do the best for the club, that actually care for the club, that are not just siphoning the money. I'm not going to lie. I'm quite happy for you to stay there, because it allows the likes of us, the likes of Villa and 1 or 2 others. You could throw Brighton, maybe even West Ham into that conversation. That it allows us to push up and compete at that level. And the longer you're in it, honestly, the further you're going to drop. Because I watched, I didn't watch it live, but I watched a little bit of the game back on Saturday, and I'm not being funny. You guys were shocking. You were shite. And you know what's embarrassing?
Do you know what though?
I'll just say the one thing that's embarrassing about it all is that Palace walked away from Old Trafford with the clean sheet. Like, when do you normally ever say that? Like, the fact that they got away with a clean sheet and actually was relatively comfortable. Like, you've spent a hell of a lot of money on players, a hell of a lot of money. Like, you had some of your top players playing. It wasn't like it was a patched up side. Yes, Amrabat played left back, but I'm not being funny. Even with Amrabat playing left back, you should really be putting Palace to the sword. Like, it was just an awful performance. And I think massive question marks do need to be asked of the club. But I do think, I'm not being funny, with the players that you've got there, I do think that Eric Ten Hag should have been getting you 3 points on Saturday. And he didn't. And yes, the club's poor.
I agree.
But I do think he needs to take some responsibility for that, because I think there's elements of him that are just not good enough.
I agree, and as I say, I'm not, definitely not one of those United fans who says Ten Hag's blameless. You can't blame Ten Hag, but at the same time, the one thing I will say is, look at Arsenal's owners, look at West Ham's owners, look at Villa's owners, look at Newcastle's owners. They're there every week. They haven't been to Old Trafford since Ronaldo's return. The Glazers.
Wow.
That says all you need to know about an ownership of a club. They're not interested. They don't care. They don't care. It's shocking. Ten Hag is quite rightly should have some answers. Should have questions asked of him. But this is now where we see if he's up for the job. He's got to make decisions. He's got to be big in the chest in the decisions he makes. He needs to give Bruno and Rashford, I think, a week off in the Premier League. I think he needs to drop them. I do. I think performances haven't been there this season. I think you can only go on what you did last season so long. The players that may not have the name, but will give you, I think, more than what they give at the moment.
I'll just add on what you said about Marcus Rashford. I'm sorry. The guy would never, ever be an elite footballer. He would never, ever be an elite footballer. Marcus Rashford burst onto the scene and was a brilliant.
Always said that.
Will be a brilliant young player. You know what? I've known it for a while, and I've thought it for a while. And even when he had his great running spree of goals, a point last season around the Carabao Cup final, and just after that. But you look at him, and he just, he's not a bad finisher. He's got bags of pace, but his in-game play is one of the worst. Like, I'll even go as far as saying, I'm not even joking when I say this, I will say in-game play, I think Jacob Murphy's better than him. I'd die on that hill. I think in-game, Jacob Murphy has a better pass. He has better intelligence of playing a ball. He has the simple stuff that allows him to progress in a game. Marcus Rashford hasn't got a clue. He just runs in straight lines and he'll try things, and half of the time he'll just hit a defender and go off. There was a Man U fan in the Stretford end that actually filmed him. It was on social media. It filmed him for every.
I saw it.
He had a number of opportunities. And I'm not talking about half chances. I'm talking the ball being played out to him, and he's one-on-one with the fullback. And you think any half decent player has got the beating of a fullback one-on-one, coming in at an angle, and I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Honestly, like, he has got no idea. I'm not taking it away. He's a good finisher. He can take the odd good free kick. Like, dead ball, not bad at all. But I'm sorry, in game, in his ability to be intelligent, his ability to make the right pass at the right time, I think, honestly, Marcus Rashford is absolute garbage. And I think because he's one of your leaders, actually puts you in a really difficult position, because you have to play
a lot of money
He's
as well
got
now.
a big lot of fight at the club. He's got a big lot of fight at the club as well, Pete.
A lot of money now, 375k a week now as well.
Yeah, he's big fight at the club. He has. I think Ten Hag is in a position now where I don't think he can drop him. I honestly don't, and that's terrifying to say when you look at you look at the players that Ferguson got rid of when they weren't doing it for Man United. Jaap Stam, David Beckham, Ruud van Nistelrooy. He got rid of them. Didn't care. I think we live in a day now where you can't do that. I think he's got a lot of trouble at the moment, Ten Hag. But as I said before, this is where you need to, as a manager, stand and be counted for. The Mason Mount thing, I will say this quickly because I'm going to get lynched. The Mason Mount thing, for me, I will say this. I don't think we could put too much on Mason Mount. He's been injured for a lot of it, and that was his first league start since the first game of the season. So I'm willing to give him time and see where he figures in this team. But as far as it goes at the moment, what I will say to Man United fans is batten down the hatches, because it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. And actually, Lawless, do you remember last season when I laughed at you when we had the chat about could West Ham finish above Man United? It's going to happen this season. It's going to happen this season.
In the back of my mind, you know that. You bring it up.
We've never finished above you. Newcastle have never finished above you in the Premier League. I'll be honest, I'll be disappointed if we don't do it this season.
Would you love it? Would you love it, Pete? Would you love it if you finished above them?
No, I'd love it if we win a trophy. That's what I want us to do.
But not the FA Cup.
No, I want the FA Cup more so than ever.
He wants it now.
I want the FA Cup. Hey, like it weren't important back then when we were trying to stay in the league. Now I want the FA Cup.
No, he loves it.
Absolutely. Dan, before we let you go, do you see a situation at all where Ten Hag does get sacked this season?
So, say again. Sorry, Potts, lost you then.
Do you see a situation at all where Ten Hag will get the sack at Man United, or do you think he's here, whatever?
I think he's here, whatever. I think it would take something catastrophic. I think we would have to be in the lower mid-table at Christmas for that to happen. I don't think he goes this season. No, I don't.
Does anyone else on the panel?
I think he stays all season, like Dan says. I don't see. Again, you've got the situation of who do you bring in, and can we afford to sack him as well? It's not just as easy as, he's not doing a good enough job, let's get rid of him. There's so many different parts to kind of think about in this, that maybe previously Man United may not have been in situations like this. So and by that I mean in terms of sacking a manager. Man United previously, if they've not been doing well, they do have that capability of saying, right, you're done kind of thing. But as we've seen in recent years, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, etc., they tend to give them plenty of time to kind of try and get their ways in, if you know what I mean, in terms of the playing squad. And
there's obviously a breaking point. Surely that's going to be anywhere near the relegation zone. That's going to be it.
Yeah, of course, but that's just desperation at that point, isn't it? But I don't think Man United at the minute can afford to keep on sacking managers, because you just get into a loop of, oh, we'll bring in Mancini. Oh, he's in the same situation as Ten Hag was in. Oh, we'll sack him then, and then we'll sack him, and then we'll sack him. It's a dangerous cycle that you can get yourself into.
Man United will get enough results, enough points just to keep him ticking over. It's what Man United are good at doing that. They did it last season to put themselves in a position of finishing third, where they weren't necessarily playing great football, but were getting results on the back of things. I think Villa at home last season at Old Trafford, I think you won 1-0, and I think there was opportunities for Villa to get at least a point, but you managed to get over the line. I think Ten Hag will have games this season where he'll just do enough to keep himself in a role. But the way it's going right now, and it's still early days, things can get better, but it doesn't seem like it. I think you've got a team that can't stay fit, a squad of players that can't stay fit, that are constantly injured. I think you need to blame Arsenal for that, because I think you brought one of their fitness staff in, and ever since then, your injuries have gone downhill. But secondly, I just think that I think with some of these players that are just not good enough. They're just not good enough, and I think you won't. I think you'll probably finish out of Europe, which will probably.
I think they'll come. They'll come like touching distance of top six, and Ten Hag will be there till the end, and then they got to decide what they do next season. And Dan's right. The ownership is a massive issue, like massive issue. I know they've spent lots and lots of money, but you have actually got to care about what you're doing as a club, and that's show the ambition to want to win. And I don't think they've done that. You know, I saw the transfer window, and it's a shambles. If I'm honest, Man United look worse than last year. That shouldn't be happening. You know, so for me, the ownership is a massive issue as well. But Ten Hag's got to get the best out of his side somehow. And if he's the top manager, like people are saying he is, he's got to get the best out of the side. Dan, we'll let you go and enjoy your holiday, mate. Have a great time sunning up in Corfu. Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you next week, bruv.
Top man.
All the best, mate.
Legend, mate.
See you later, boys. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Listen, Billy, 6. Wow.
Six of the best.
I never thought 6. I thought that you might have a good game, and I did say to you I thought it'd be a good game, but I actually went for a 2-2 draw because I thought both of you just go all out at it. Villa went all at it. My God, Ollie Watkins was on fire. Thought, to be fair, most of your midfield was on fire as well, and Brighton got hit big time, mate. I think that shocked everybody, including Brighton, because I didn't see that scoreline or anywhere near to that scoreline, if I'm honest with you. And when I saw it go 3-0, I thought, oh dear, that'll be it now. Like, Brighton will have to just wake up and make sure it's not any more than that. And it just didn't. It was just embarrassing as far as Brighton were concerned. I mean, losing 6-1 is bad at the best of times. But when it's against a side that you really feel like you can go up against this season, I just think you just showed why Unai Emery's doing such a good job and why some of your players are, let's be real, being spoken about at the moment. So what did you make of it, man? You must be buzzing.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I couldn't really believe what I was watching at times, particularly when that third goal went in. It was just crazy to think how well we were playing. And I don't know whether it's a case of our system is perfect to play against De Zerbi's system, maybe, because I mean we've played him 3 times now under Emery, and we've beaten them every single time. And we do have a good record against Brighton in recent years. So I was quietly confident that we could probably get something out of the game. But even when we was 3-0 up at half time, you know, I think I tweeted out, I'm not naive enough to think that it's game over. You know, this Brighton team are more than good enough to get back into the game and to get a result. And when that first goal went in, or when their goal went in, I was thinking, oh God, here we go. Right. Let's just calm down. Let's just try and manage the game now. And I mean, our response to that was just fantastic. The way that we responded, everyone kind of stuck together, and then we pushed on to get the 4th, the 5th, and then ultimately the 6th goal with Douglas Luiz. It was just an overall top performance. And that first half was, again, I tweeted out, I think it's safe to say that that's probably the best first half or the best half of football I have ever seen Aston Villa play. And we were just top quality. And I think, and you know, when we played Legia Warsaw the other week and you saw how fuming Emery was on the sidelines when we was losing that game, that game against Brighton is exactly why, because he knows that we're capable of playing like that. And I think at times in a situation like the Legia Warsaw game, we make a rod for our own backs from how well we know that we can play. It's just about continuing on now. You know, we've won five out of the 7 games so far, looking really, really good. It's only the away games to obviously Newcastle and Liverpool that we've lost, and I think both of those games we were unfortunate to play the teams when we did. But yeah, like I say, it's about keeping that momentum going now. And yeah, we've got a decent run of fixtures. We've got Wolves next week. I say we've got a decent run of fixtures. We've got hard fixtures. Wolves always turn up against us. And so that's not going to be an easy game, but you would like to think that it's a winnable game. We've obviously got West Ham at home as well I can't remember the date of the game, but yeah, we've got Mr. Lawless coming up to Birmingham. And so that's going to be a cracker. But then we go on a decent run of winnable fixtures. So like I say, we just need to keep that momentum going. And yeah, it's scary to think that if we do manage to keep that momentum going, it's scary to think where Villa could be come the end of the season. What I will say is it looks like we've cursed Emery in cup competitions.
Well, we'll see.
For the Conference League, doesn't it?
Lawless, are you worried, Lawless? Like, man, of Aston Villa are playing very, very well, man. You said that you'd be above them this year. Do you feel like they might kick on now?
Look, it's a mad season. They can lose to Everton 1 minute and then go and smash Brighton the next minute. Great result, great performance, take nothing away. They got really good players, but I'm not ready to sit there and go, oh, Villa, wow, like, oh my God. Like, you know what I mean? Like you might, Potts. But, you know, we got to see what they do on a week-to-week basis now. We got to see it because, look, they could go and easily draw against Wolves or something like that. And then you're looking at it like, you got to see them go on a serious run of games. And that's going to say a lot. It's going to be interesting.
Who do you think's playing better, West Ham or Villa at the moment?
Playing better. I mean, they're probably. That's a tough one to say because I feel like we're more consistent than Villa. I think we're more consistent than Villa.
As soon as you said that, Potts, Billy's eyes locked on Lawless. Yeah. What are you going to say?
Playing better, like if you look at it and go, oh, that football looks a bit better than that football, then yeah, maybe Villa. But, you know, we've only lost to Liverpool and Man City this season. No one else has beaten us. We're not dropping no losses against, you know, crap teams.
Like the Villa play better football than West Ham. Though I just want you to confirm or deny that.
Well, yeah, but what does it mean? Like, is it you know? Jose Mourinho didn't play the best football. He won trophies, so you can play your tippy-tappy bollocks, mate. We'll win our trophy. We'll play our winning football.
So rattled, isn't he? So rattled. Look at him. It's just a simple question. Simple question.
Listen, we got to talk about Brighton in this and Villa because Potts, you've hyped both these teams up to the high heavens and the
not really.
Yes,
go on.
Yes, you have. The idea that West Ham could finish above Villa or Brighton was inconceivable, and Brighton now look massively inconsistent. One of your, you know, favourites that you bigged up and was like, oh, West Ham ain't finishing above Brighton. West Ham could never finish above Brighton. Well, we slapped them 3-1, and look at them. They can't get consistent run of results, and they just got slapped 6-1. So what you got to say about that? Maz ain't here to take the smoke. So you have to take it for Brighton because you sat there and acted like it was crazy. That
If you think I'm going to sit there and take anything from you as a non-Brighton supporter, you are in cuckoo land, bro.
No, you
There
can't,
is
because
no
you
way
acted
I'm
like-
holding an L for Brighton getting spanked
you
6-1
are.
to a side that I said are decent. Emery is a good manager and he's done well with Villa. I've said that. I've also
Villa
said that I rate
6-1
Brighton.
decent. Are they 6-1 decent?
Clearly, we are.
No, Brighton got absolutely smoked, and they need to hold their L. I ain't holding no L. I think both these clubs will still finish above West Ham. So I'm just saying that. That's all I'm saying.
You say
If
that.
I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Listen,
I'm not going to change my
listen.
prediction.
Do you know what?
You want me to? You want me to so bad, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But you want me to so badly.
You do it. All I'm going to say is both teams have held L's in Europe. Yeah. Both teams looking a bit inconsistent. West Ham, we got that consistency.
Are you going to hold an L? Are you going to hold an L in Europe this year?
I don't think we're going to hold an L in the group stages. Who's
your group?
Oh fuck! You put me on the spot. Freiburg. Who did we play the first? Olympiacos, and
that team we beat Spukalocka.
Bakatopla. Yes, that's it. Bakatopla.
Yeah.
Freiburg.
Really well-known club.
And
Olympiacos. Freiburg, Olympiacos, and Bakatopla.
If you don't win that group, then we're coming for you, man. I'll tell you what now. If you do not top that group and win every game, wow.
Remember, Potts, the most important thing is that they go invincible. That they win every single game.
We've done that. We've already achieved invincible, accomplished. We've done it, mate. We've got.
But that's the most important thing, now, isn't it? It doesn't matter if you go on and win the Europa League. You have to do it.
We're a Villa in their group, by the way.
We're bottom.
You got that bottom of the group. Oh, bottom. Is that in the Conference League or?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. How many games are left to go?
Well, you better just hope you ain't anywhere near there come end of season. But it's looking shaky, my friend. It's looking shaky. So,
One game in.
Like, But look, this is the same team that when it got slapped up by Everton, who lost to Luton. So Everton Villa can clearly lose against trash teams in the cups.
Did you play a weak side, Billy, in the cup?
Yes, we did. Martinez wasn't involved.
Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Who? You play weakened sides, and you think you're that team? Clearly you thought wrong.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't think it was that weak.
No, it wasn't that weak. But three key players were missing in Emi Martinez, in Boubacar Kamara, and in Douglas Luiz. The two midfielders that came in for Kamara and Luiz, Dendoncker and Tielemans, horrendous performances. And Robin Olsen, you stick a statue in the middle of the goal and they're saving more shots than him. He's useless, and all of the goals were individual errors, really.
You thought you were big enough, to field a weakened team in the cups. You thought you could just do that and smoke teams. No, we can rotate.
But Lawless, you
can't do that. You're not that team.
Look at Villa's injury list already. Do you expect us to play our big players in every single game possible?
Well, I'm just saying, don't sit there and put your chest out like that and go, or make excuses. We didn't have our strongest team. We didn't have
I'm not the one that made the excuse. You are.
They had an attacking midfield three of Moussa Diaby, Yuri Tielemans, just saying, and Leon Bailey.
Don't get me started on
Leon Bailey. Hey, let's be honest, Lawless. That's a team that should be picking up a win.
It should be picking up a win. Absolutely. There's no disputing that.
Did it pick up the win?
No, we didn't because Yuri Tielemans is shite.
What? Wow! Wow!
You've opened the door.
Get this. You get that. Wow. How quick can someone flip flop and flip back again? Wow. He went from, I don't want Tielemans. He
You
wouldn't
deserve
get
that
into
one,
a
Billy.
future.
You deserve
Wow, I
that
was
one.
wrong.
I knew it was
I was
coming. I
wrong
knew it was
about
coming. It had
Tielemans.
to be
He's
said.
brilliant. He's this, he's that. So now he's
No,
shite. Wow.
In pre-season, Yuri Tielemans was the standout
pre-
player.
Pre-season.
What can I go off at the time if I've only seen him in pre-season? What can I go off? I'm not some sort of I can't read the future and know. Oh, on X day he's going to be out of a really bad performance.
But you didn't add any qualifiers.
It was Lawless. There was one game, Billy, you'll know. There was a game that you played where the whole fan base was bigging him up. I think was it like Warsaw or something like that where you won like
No, it wouldn't have been that. I genuinely don't know. It must have been a pre-season game. It must have been a pre-season game.
Because there was a time on this show
like
you was
one
picking him up.
team and he smashed them. He smashed them and he was class. And I swear all Villa fans were saying
he is still a good player. He's just had a shot game.
I honestly, Pete, I don't know. I don't know what team you're going on.
Well, but listen,
with you.
What do you
But
mean?
to be fair to him, he came on against Crystal Palace and had a hand in two of the winning goals. So looking at that, you think, all right, maybe you can have he's right. I can't think of the words. He's righted his wrongs, if that makes any sense, of the Legia Warsaw performance, which was horrendous. And maybe we can give him a start against Everton. He'll perform. Well, he did far from that. So look, it is what it is. I'm not going to write him off completely just yet. But
You just said he was shite. You just said, Tielemans is shite.
He was.
That sounds.
He
No,
is.
you didn't say he was. You said he is shite. He is currently.
All right, he is.
Nah, he's not shite, man. He's not shite.
This
He was
moment
shite
in
that
time,
game.
At this moment in time, he's been very, very, very underwhelming.
Well,
Shite was probably a little bit too harsh, but yeah, it is what it is. If he turns around and scores the winner in the Europa Conference League final, I'll love him forever.
Mate, it's mad. It's absolutely mad. Listen, let's quickly touch on West Ham before we come to Arsenal, because apparently Lawless wants to rant about Arsenal fans again. West Ham, just keep plodding on, man. You beat, was it Sheffield United 2-0?
Yep.
Performance comfortable, Lawless?
Yeah, a little bit too comfortable for my liking. A little bit too comfortable.
I was gonna say,
you know what I mean? You want to sometimes just go for the kill. Look at Pete there with that goal, 8-0, 8-0.
Hold on a second. Let's be honest here. You were slapping it down last week. You were going, if we don't get 5s or 6s against Sheffield United, is that's what you said. You said you wanted a big score. You said you wanted to smash them.
Don't need to bring this out, do I?
I never said that.
Is there any way to? I'm pretty sure, right? Potts, correct me if I'm wrong. He was there saying, "I don't want a 1-2-0. I want to smash Sheffield United. I want to."
Be fair, I did
as well.
To be fair, I did on my preview. I looked at it and I said, I would actually rather a 2-0 than a 4-1. Because I swear to God, because we needed a clean sheet. That's our first clean sheet in the league this season. It's our first clean sheet. That was huge. Areola's first clean sheet. He's been so good and he ain't got a clean sheet. That was massive. We needed that. Would I have liked more goals? Of course I would. But the end of the day, yes, I did, Sharky. You can go watch post-match fight.
Mixed Mitchell, big up. He said you did say that, Lola. So Mixed Mitchell was watching.
Yeah, I did, because we needed that clean sheet. So look, there's no point analysing the game into the ground. All I'll say is Alphonse Areola. Yeah, mate, he's looking every bit that quality player. I see a stat where he's like the top of like most saves or something like that, or most
deserved to be in a combined 11 instead of Vicario. Lawless.
Yeah, listen, he should have been. He was easily. I stand by it. That combined 11.
I watched that show. I watched that show. I'm sorry, Areola shits on Tottenham's goalkeeper. I'm sorry. Areola is so far better than him. You look at the clubs that he's played for over his career, and he's played well at those clubs as well. He might not have been first choice in all of them, but they're elite clubs. But whenever he's gone in, he's played very well. Like, he is head and shoulders above. That was just biased of the highest order and then eventually he just gave up the goalkeeper in seconds
because he loves Romero too much. He can't bear to not have Romero. He's precious Romero in the team, the mighty Romero. But Areola's top of the league for goals prevented this season. 4.05 goals prevented, more than any other keeper. So one of the bargains of the season. I was right. 10 million. Bargain, mate. Absolute bargain. Love him. But yeah, so Newcastle's going to be the test to see where this team is, because
this weekend.
Yes, next Sunday, yeah. And the thing is with Newcastle, it's a challenge, but it's a winnable game. It's a winnable but challenging game. It's not Liverpool or Man City levels where you look at it and you go, you know what I mean, I'll hope to get a point. But, you know, it's not Crystal Palace where you go.
You're saying you wouldn't take a point against Newcastle?
I would be at home to Newcastle. I wouldn't be like, oh, that's a great
at
point.
Home's a bit different, to be fair. I didn't realise it's at home. But
yeah, I wouldn't be like, that's a great point. I'd be like, oh, you know, it's not the end of the world, but we got a point. We should be going into this game and winning. This is going to be where we can really see where we're at against this Newcastle team. And yeah, we got the confidence, we got the players, we got the quality. Let's see what Newcastle do when they come to our ground. That's going to be very interesting. If we win that, Potts, you're going to get it worse than Pete. I'm telling you.
What was the score last year?
I can't remember. To be honest.
5-0.
What was the trophies? What was the trophies won last year?
No. Hey, I'm not knocking you, but I think Billy, that was a should I say loaded question because you knew what you were doing there. But I have to say we're like West Ham are a different proposition this season. Certainly in the Premier League, they're a very, very good side, and we're nursing a hell of a lot of injuries at the moment.
And you're playing PSG on Wednesday. This is huge.
Yeah, I'll be there.
I'm expecting you to have you. There's no way you don't play your strongest 11 against PSG.
Yeah, we have to.
That is going to be an intense game. That is going to be just huge. Newcastle are going to have to throw everything at it to try and win.
Is that your place? Yeah, Lawless.
So Newcastle are at home to PSG and they're away to us. Yeah, they're playing.
It's not West Ham. Yeah. That's going to be a quality game, man. That's going to be a big game. West Ham, Newcastle.
We're like at the moment, Botman's out until after the international break. Wilson's injured with a mystery injury. Didn't play against.
Hey, it's because they got their little podcast, isn't it? You don't want to come on and turn up a performance.
I know, but he's been bagging at the moment. He'd be jumping on there. Joe Linton pulled his hamstring literally 2 minutes after he came on, so he'll be missing. We've still got Willock out as well. So it is very much a patched up team at the moment. And the thing is that we're probably going to have to expect Alexander Isak, Anthony Gordon suspended, so he's not available either, who's been sensational for us so far this season. So we've got a lot of big players out. And we're expecting Alexander Isak to play.
I saw this coming earlier, actually, Pete. Just quickly, I saw this coming earlier.
Wow. I think Gareth Southgate's got some questions to answer, because if you're looking on form, Gordon is hands down better than Rashford at this moment in time. Now, historically, Rashford is clear of Gordon, and rightly so, from what he's done in previous seasons, goals that he scored. But actually, right now, Gordon is playing better than Marcus Rashford. And so the one thing I'll say is that I always question Gareth Southgate's selection policy. But if you go back through history, Gareth Southgate tends to choose players that have come through the England setup. and Anthony Gordon has come through the England setup. So it wouldn't surprise me. Maybe this one is a little bit too early, but I would say in November, I think if he continues his form, which I believe he will, the question will be asked again. He's got 2 goals, 2 assists, so 4 goal contributions in 7 games this season. I think that's a really good tally to start with this season. If I was him, I'd be targeting at least 10 or 15 goal contributions in a season. He's 21 years old. Like, he's still got so many years to grow and develop, and he's already playing so well in so many big games this season. Like, he's got the world at his feet. And look,
he won't be playing against West Ham.
and he won't be, and that's a big miss for us because he's become a key player. He really
now
has.
you've told me them injuries. I'm looking at it now. We should be winning this game. Like, if we've got ambitions of Europe, this game, there's still quality players in that team, but to miss those players and have PSG on Wednesday, like, we need to be ambitious in this game. We need to go for it. We need to be winning this game. And a loss, I'm not having it. I'm not saying.
Is your front three, Pete, going to be Almiron, Wilson, and Isak?
Well, Wilson's injured.
It's going to be Murphy.
Hell, man,
That's what I mean. So
Murphy, Almiron, and Isak.
Yeah. So we're expecting those 3 to play PSG Wednesday, and then effectively, because of options, do the same on Sunday.
That's a good time to play Newcastle, man.
Exactly. Initially, and we're coming off five clean sheets, five straight clean sheets, and like back to back, 3 wins in a row. Like, we're coming off good form. But what I'll say is, at this moment in time, like, obviously we're focused on PSG and wanting to make a good account of ourselves at St. James's Park. First Champions League game in 20 years at St. James's. But for me, I'm thinking ahead to West Ham, and I'm thinking, right, it's the game just before international break. We then have Palace at home after that. I'm thinking, like, by then we should have the likes of Botman and Wilson back and be able to be a little bit stronger. I think Willett might even be back after that, possibly Joe Linton. And it's like, let's get through to international break. And I would, at this moment in time, I might feel differently towards the end of the week. I'd take a point at West Ham because of the way they're playing. They're having a good start to the season. They've beaten teams like Chelsea and had good results against Brighton and whatever. So I'd take a point right now to keep us on that positive train, so that in the next few games, I think we've got like Palace, then Wolves, and a couple of others after that. I think we've got Arsenal coming up in November as well. Like, I want us to continue in that positive vein. So
what would you rather, Pete? Beat PSG, lose to West Ham, lose to PSG, beat West Ham.
Beat PSG, Pete, 100%. 100%. Imagine Newcastle beating PSG.
But then you've got
20 years without
collateral,
Champions
and
League.
you'd have to deal with Lawless.
Yeah. Deal with
Lawless
take an L, man. Take an L. Like, he'll be giving it anyway the rest of the season. You can put up with Lawless. PSG, man, 100%.
We're doing a preview. I've said it before. My brother's a season ticket holder at PSG. He's in the away end on Wednesday, and I'd love to get one over on him. I'm not gonna lie. I'd definitely take the PSG. He's taking my nephew as well for his first game at St. James's, so I'd love for them to be in absolute bits as we're celebrating at St. James's Park. I'm not gonna lie. So I'd probably take the PSG win. I'd love a win at PSG, maybe a point at the Olympic Stadium. And that would
I won't offer you a point. I was, you can't have everything, Pete. You can't have it all.
If I was going to have everything, I'd take 3 points in both. I'd take 6
Exactly.
days into the international break. So if you're going to,
it still ain't a shocking Newcastle side, though. I'll have people know that. I'm not looking at Newcastle going, oh wow, there's no chance there. Isak up top, poor Newcastle. Like Almiron, he was an absolute banger he scored at the weekend. Like, and Murphy, to be fair to him, when he has
strong midfield as well,
and still a good midfield, and defensively, what Newcastle been superb, man. So I don't know, man. I think it's still a good side, but West Ham will fancy their chances for sure coming off the back of PSG. West Ham will have who Thursday night?
We've got Freiburg.
Freiburg
in
at Freiburg
Europe.
or at home?
Yeah, at Freiburg. Yeah, away.
I see. So you're
That's
travelling
probably
as
your
well.
toughest game in the league. That's probably your toughest game in that group phase, to be fair. Away.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That was never
So-
decent side.
Yeah, I mean that's
We'll see,
going to
man.
be interesting. Obviously, you get the extra day's rest, so it's interesting. Obviously, yeah, like check out Loaded Mag on the Friday, I think it is, because then we're going to be talking about this game after Pete's played PSG and I've played Friday. Well, our teams have played in Europe.
That'll be a good
So
one, man. That'll be a
very
good one.
interesting.
Pete, anything else on Newcastle before we move to Arsenal? I feel like we've kind of skimmed over a bit. I know that it was only Burnley, and people say it was only Burnley, but big up Natalie. It was a good result and banging goal from Almiron, man, absolute banger.
It's interesting one. Like the Burnley win for Newcastle has kind of been brushed aside by everyone in the media and all the rest of it. But actually, if you go back to Newcastle last season, we drew at home to Palace, we drew at home to Bournemouth, we drew at home to Leeds. Like we weren't getting points on the board against teams we'd expect to pick 3 points up against because of that low block. I thought Burnley would have the low block. Natalie said they wouldn't have the low block. They'd come out at us. They did. And eventually we're able to pick them off. Really, it should have been 4-5-0. We missed some real kind of gilt-edged chances. Isaac missed a couple. Anderson missed a couple. But we got the result. And I was actually really impressed with the way we went about our business in terms of winning those games that should be comfortable but are not always comfortable. That fills me with confidence that over the course of the season, we will know how to apply ourselves better in those type of games against sort of the lesser teams at St James's. At their own grounds, like Sheffield United do, they're always going to come out and try and beat us because they have to get points on the board. But at St James's Park, it's a little bit more difficult, and I was really pleased how we went about it.
Yeah, man.
And Eddie, I've got to big up 2 players, Jamal Lascelles, who came in for Botman. He's our captain. He hasn't really played much. He has been brilliant. He was against Man City when we've knocked them out the cup as well. Really, really good. So although Botman's well our best defender easily, like Lascelles has come in and made it look pretty seamless. So hopefully he continues that form. And then Elliot Anderson, young lad, only 20 years old, toying with England and Scotland right now because both want him. But he's playing in the midfield 3 and he's been starting regular football for us this season.
He looks class, man. He looks class.
He is. It's just he hasn't got us a goal. He hasn't got us a goal yet. I think that's the only thing missing to his game: goals and assists. Everything else in his game, he's battling, he's high press. Everything he's given us, he was the best by far in pre-season, and now he's bringing that into his Premier League form, and I've been really impressed with him. So those 2 get a big up for me. Almiron's goal is outstanding. We've come to expect it from him after last season, and yeah, we tick on nicely.
Fair play, man. Big up Newcastle, who my tip for 4th place, and everyone laughed. I'm sticking with it, man. I'm sticking with it. Someone in the chat earlier said, Lawless has got it wrong. It's Newcastle who Potts loves, not Villa or Brighton. So sit down, Lawless. It's big up Newcastle. Sit down, everyone else.
It's all free. That was your first love. Newcastle was your first love, and then Brighton and Villa started to pick
It was yours as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
it was Lawless' first love.
Well, you don't see me sitting here and kissing your ass, do you? You see you sitting there going, "Oh, Newcastle going to win it all." I'm real.
Honestly, mate, it's. I would like nothing more than Champions League football for Newcastle and Arsenal to win the league. I'd be well happy. You would.
You'd have a parade. You'd go to the Newcastle parade, wouldn't you? That's where you go. If they was on the same day, you'd go Newcastle parade.
Mate, I would. I mean, Pete would give me a spot, wouldn't you, Pete? You know what I mean? There'd be a space for
Unless
me.
you get Arteta as your manager, then Pete, then you're on your own.
Nah, big up, Mikel. Super Mick, mate. Super Mick. Listen, let's go to Arsenal because apparently Lawless has got a lot of chat for us. So let's hear it. Let's hear what you got to say. I don't know what this is. By the way, I've only seen it on WhatsApp.
The chat is going to be a meltdown, is I believe what he said.
The meltdown. I never said a meltdown. It's listen. I haven't got much to say about the game. You beat Bournemouth. Great stuff. Arsenal fans, listen. Trigger warning. It's all football. I'm just going to say trigger warning here. I want to talk about Kai Havertz. First of all, I want to read you something. This is what Arsenal fans were singing on the weekend. Samina Mina. Eh. Waka. Waka. Eh. 60 million down the drain. Kai Havertz scores again. Oh my God. This reaction, this Kai Havertz thing to me has been nothing short of embarrassing. I mean, for a start, he scores again. It's his first goal in an Arsenal shirt. What do you mean he scores again? Like, this is a prime example of Arsenal fans forcing things. Absolutely just forcing everything. You know, same with their little London Forever thing, just forcing it. The crappy ultras, what do they call them? Ashburton Army or whatever, just forcing stuff. Now they're forcing this Havertz thing. And it's ridiculous. The way that he's being babied by not just the fans, by the players. Look, we all know he has not lived up to his price tag this season. But there's this concerted effort to, we're getting behind him and you're well done, Havertz. Have the penalty. He scored a penalty. Oh, Havertz, he's back. He's doing it for us now. Well done, Havertz. Like, it's just embarrassing. Like, where is this for the other crap players that Arsenal have had over the years? Where was all of this? But because he's Arteta's £65 million man, all of a sudden now we've got to make this concerted effort to really show him we're behind him and we can't admit he's been a crap signing and, Havertz. I want to know how long that's going to last for. Like, when do we just sit there? Like, he's been in this league for 3 years now. 3 years. It's not like you've signed him from Germany and, you know, he's got to adapt to the league. We know what Havertz is. We talk about, he's going to have confidence now. He scored that penalty. He's going to have confidence to kick on and score more goals because that's what his problem is. The whole 3 years where he's been in this league, we've all seen him be crap. He's just been low on confidence. And if he just gets confidence, he'll be good. He'll be a good player with confidence. Like, this delusion and this hopium is insane. I'm not sorry. This is just like, just look at it from an outside perspective. Imagine Havertz is back at Chelsea and he's shit. And then, you know, he's not scoring any goals, getting assists. He scores a penalty and all the Chelsea fans are going, he's going to be confident now. He's going to score all the goals. Kai Havertz scores again. Come on. Am I alone here? Like, what is this narrative that's trying to be pushed? I don't even he scored a penalty. Good. Get on with it. Let's hope he scores some more goals. That's it. What the fuck is this whole fanfare about over Havertz? Shit song, embarrassing, waka. What the fuck, man?
It's not often this happens, but I agree with you, Lawless. I agree with you entirely, and I'm not a fan of Kai Havertz. I think the praise that Martin Ødegaard got was fair for handing the ball to him. I think that's fair as a captain. Come on, mate, let's get you on the score sheet. That's fine. But the reaction is rather embarrassing. Quite a lot of Arsenal fans said that he was top class and he deserved man of the match and he was great. I didn't see that. I saw a performance from Ødegaard and Rice that left Kai Havertz's performance dead in the water. I thought they were easily, by far, men of the match. I think with Kai Havertz at the moment, I don't really understand where this was for Pepe. Everybody just looked at and said 72 million, what a waste. But maybe it's because it was an Arteta signing. Maybe that's had something to do with it. The song is one of the songs, along with quite a few at the moment, that I've got problems with. Now, I don't mind singing songs about players. I've got nothing wrong with that. But let's wait for them to score at least 2 goals in consecutive games when we sing that song. Because if you're saying 60 million down the drain, Kai Havertz scores again. Well, it's his first goal, so you can't really
and he
sing that
cost 65
song.
million, didn't he? Didn't he cost 65?
Say again.
Didn't he
60 million, 65 million. Yeah, exactly. So 65 million.
Oh, they got that.
So there's quite a few at the moment. I still don't like the Super Mix song, and when I said this, it went viral and everyone hated on me, and I lost a lot of Arsenal lovers. But unfortunately, we're singing Tierney at the back. Well, he's gone to Real Sociedad. Gabby in attack. Well, he plays on the left wing. Arteta knows exactly what we need. The 2 players they've selected is Unai Emery signings, Martinelli and Tierney. Very bizarre. Very, very bizarre. So I don't get that one at all.
But do you think Potts? I only the thing is, James from AFTV he pointed out that he has got a good record. Havertz in penalties, right?
Yeah,
So that's fair enough. But if you're giving a player who's played crap and he's low on confidence a penalty, now you need confidence to take a penalty. Thankfully, he scored. But do you think that, like the player that is the designated penalty taker, that's best placed to take the penalty, should always take, like, you're taking a risk? Because if he misses that, one, you know, it boosts the opposition who've, you know, could have had a penalty conceded against them, and gives them, you know, the impetus to then go for it now because they've got to boost their crowd up. But it also would wreck Havertz even more if he'd missed that penalty.
It would have. Which, to be fair, I did think would probably happen, and I was praying it wouldn't. But he put it away, and I think he scored 18 goals in the last 20, 18 penalties in the last 20, right? But I've got to say, I think you're coming for the wrong sort of people here, and I'll tell you why. You're coming for the Arsenal fans. I know you don't like Arsenal fans. I get it. They're giving you stick over the last 6 months, whatever it be. I get it. I understand it. But this is on Mikel Arteta, man, not the Arsenal fans. This is the manager who signed this guy. The Arsenal fans are supporting this lad, right? So they can do that in whatever way they want. If they want to sing a song about him, be my guest. I'm not going to sit and be the song police, right? At the end of the day, they're getting behind a player they want to do well. We all want to see him do well. I don't believe that he's the signing that's going to take us to the next level at all. And I am very, very impressed with the signing of Declan Rice. I've been really impressed with Saliba's performances. I think Martin Odegaard's been fantastic. Bukayo Saka gets a lot of stick, but again, is involved in yet another goal where apparently he's had a shit season and he's yet again scoring again and creating. So I don't think personally there's any huge issue here. The big issue for me is Mikel Arteta going to fall on that sword? And at the moment, Havertz has scored a goal and he's had an all right performance. And he had an all right performance the other night against Brentford. Nothing outstanding that I've seen so far. But the problem is there's a magnifying glass now on Kai Havertz. Everything he does. Oh, touch went off, bad signing. Oh, another bad pass, bad signing. Now, I'm doing that myself, so I can't really talk because I'm looking at the signing thinking the 65 million show me something more than that. The problem I've got, and I'm with you slightly, Lord, is the fan base that are going a bit over the top with it. Right, I've got nothing wrong with people supporting them. There's a real big Twitter account the other day saying, has anyone watched in the last 10 minutes, Kai Havertz has won 2 headers. He actually put that as his Twitter status. And I thought, well, is this what we bought this guy for then? To win headers? £65 million to win headers in the bodies. It's just a real strange one, man. So you're magnifying
a lot of propaganda and misrepresenting.
Yeah, there is.
Doing, and that's the thing. It's fine. Like if you want to go and we get behind him. I think the song is ridiculous and lyrics make no sense. But if you want to, sing, I know, Super Kai Havertz or whatever the fuck, right, and go, come on, Kai, you can do it. That's all fine. But let's not act like he's been this great signing all of a sudden and 60 million down the drain like that. When Man United used to sing that about Martial, right? That he was scoring goals. He had a good run of games, and that's what they was doing. That
the song's stupid. It's too early to be singing that, in my opinion. You're right. You're absolutely bang on. There's nothing.
Grown men singing "Waka Waka." I'm not having that. Did you see them? They were all doing all of this, shaking their tits and all that. Like, what's going on?
Something in the food, man.
Wow. I mean, listen, I thought, as always, Lourdes has brought that up from the weekend after a smashing Bournemouth 4-0. Very convincing win. Quite disappointed with Bournemouth, if I'm honest. I thought they were really poor, and I think they have been, actually. A lot of people are tipping them for like 12th and be surprise package and all this, and they've been poor, man. I thought they were really poor against us, like just taking us out.
I think it's the manager, isn't it? Everyone expected him to be a little bit like Bielsa because that was supposedly his kind of way.
Ain't looking that way at the moment. I know it's early, Billy, but ain't looking that way, is it?
The way. No, not at all. If you look at how easy it was, the video in particular I'm talking about is when Zinchenko carried the ball. How easy it was for just that one pass into midfield from Raya, and then he's just got literally the whole pitch to run into. And I don't know I can't remember if anything came of it, but it just looked so easy. And I mean, from a Villa perspective, if we've got Martinez who's able to ping a ball over to Douglas Luiz or something, I'm looking forward to playing Bournemouth if they're going to continue leaving that much space in behind that front line. then it's going to be so easy for teams to exploit that and carry the ball up the pitch so easily. I think, I don't want to sound too harsh because obviously it's his first few games in the Premier League. I don't want to write him off just yet at all. But no, he needs to be cautious of the way he plays football. I think this Iraola.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. It was easy for us. It was convincing. I thought Rice was outstanding. Ødegaard got man of the match by many, and rightly so. I think he's involved in every single goal, either set up or scored it. He was immense. So really impressed with Martin Ødegaard. And to be fair, defensively again, Arsenal away from home just seems a complete chalk and cheese performance from our Emirates performances. We can never keep a clean sheet at home. We just seem, I think Arteta said, we're too emotional. Well, I'm hoping that he can do something about that then, because we need to stop being too emotional at home, because away from home, it's calm, controlled and composed. And it was again, I've got to say. So hopefully that continues. Looks like Partey's back for City, Saka's back for City, Trossard's back for City, and Martinelli looks like he's back for City. So we've got no excuses, man. We've got our fully fit squad other than Timber. So we've got to go.
Shaking down there. Look, he's shaking.
I'm not, bro. I'm not.
He's all right.
He's
all right.
Play the kids. You know what I mean? For like
what? Play the kids.
Yeah.
Was it you?
Yeah, mate. I'm not worried about Arsenal, mate.
Well, welcome to the show, LB. I hope you're well, mate. Thanks for jumping on. I know that. Thanks for jumping on. I know that you're a busy man, and I just want to welcome you to the show.
Weekend we got Wolves away, and yeah, I think we should win. Oh, he still got it. He still got it. This is dangerous. 1-0, man. Such a crap goal to concede that. Oh, Kanji's block. It's got to be. Oh, it's going to be 2-1 to Wolves. There it is, 2-1 Wolves. Told you before, man. Told you before. Sometimes it's just worth taking the point. Wolves 2, Manchester City 1. City get the first L of the season in the Premier League, and it's back-to-back losses. I think we could walk the league this year. Seriously.
This is Manchester United. This is Manchester United. This is Manchester United.
Hey, that 1-0, man. Fair play. Oh, LB, man.
Well, I guess you know what I've got to say then. If you watched my whole watch,
I never expect to see a Man City fan get clipped up on this channel. Wow, that's insane.
You know what's annoying about that?
Is, right? Take the opportunity when it arises.
You know what's annoying though, right? Is that you clip me up saying I think we'll beat Wolves. All week I've been like, it's gonna be a tough game. This everyone on Twitter, everyone on social media have been saying, "Nah, we'll pan Wolves, we'll beat them. It's gonna be an easy match." I've been one of the few City fans saying I actually think it's gonna be a tough game. They should have beat United on day one, and they were unlucky to get beat off Liverpool at Molineux. And I was like, nah, I'm a bit worried, man. And then the one bit where I've said, yeah, I think we'll win, like, you clip me up, man. What's all that about?
I don't do the clips. Big up Sam Hart, my guy. You know, it's all about Sam. And listen, LB, it was. I mean, obviously, I didn't see the game because I was watching Arsenal on the watch along, and we got Frank on the old scores doing a Chris Kamara for us. He goes, "Just 1-0 Wolves, boys." And me and Turkish were like, "Well, that'll be about 4-1 now, then." And then when it went to 1-1, I went, there you go. That's what it is. And I couldn't believe it. I've got to say, I could not believe that. That was the shock. And actually, it annoyed me a little bit in a way because I lost a lot of money because I had Man City in my acca. But I had potential to win some serious dollar, but Man City let me down. Listen, LB, you're not worried. I know you've just said I'm not worried about Arsenal. I'm not worried still. Good time to play Man City, Arsenal, do you think, on the back of 2 defeats? Or is it just...
I think
you bounce back.
I think the pressure's on Arsenal now. I think the pressure's on.
Yeah, I do as
well.
You
know, you're playing a City team where 4 of our best players are not available for the match, which is John Stones, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, and Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah, all 4 of them, if they fit, are in our team, and you're playing us at your place, behind us in the league, behind us on points. I think you've got to win the game. If we get out there with a draw, think of the think of the confidence and psychological impact of that for City if we get out there with a draw. We'll be coming away going, hang on a minute, I'll beat you. So say we beat you, I'll get a draw. We'll be coming away saying, hang on a minute, we've just gone to our closest rivals with half a team and we've still got a result. That'll give us such a boost. So I think the pressure's on Arsenal to win this game. And to be honest, I think the reasons that we lost the game against Wolves will actually be completely opposite against Arsenal. I think the problem is we played Kovacic, Nunes in the first half, and neither of them can create. But they were trying to create against a wall of Wolves players, and they defended very, very well. Well, we're not going to get that at Arsenal. Arsenal are going to play 5 at the back with 3 in front of the 5 defenders. So the game will be a bit more open. So, yeah, look, I'm looking forward to it. I think we can still go there and get a win. I think we can get a point and avoid a loss, and it'll be a great result for us.
Listen, I hate playing you, man. I can't lie. I
No,
can't
you do. Your
stand
record
playing you.
stinks, mate.
Absolutely horrendous. So it's got to change soon, right? It's got to change soon. You've said the pressure's on Arsenal. I can't sit there and lie to you. If we tell you this now, and you can clip this up, Sam, if you want, we want to win the title, we have to beat Man City. It's as simple as that. It really is. We're not one of these who sits there and says, "Oh, yeah, it don't matter, just don't lose, we'll be all right." You got to take points off of Man City, and I'm sitting there and praying that we do, like 100%. And I think that's a good way to leave it. Guys, it's been a pleasure, as always. Before we do go, because I know Pete's got to shoot off and I've got to shoot off as well, let's just quickly ask this one as we do. Does the panel think that West Ham can make the top 6 this season? Big up, Toby. So far, we played very well. New signing's been top so far. Come on, you Irons. Well, Lawless says no, because he says that it's top 7. So he's being really negative, Toby, and saying no, because he said 7th. So there's no chance for Lawless picking top 6.
That's what I said, wasn't it? That's what I said. Listen, speaking on behalf of the panel, there's every chance West Ham can make the top 6 this season. So we strengthen in January, maybe get striker in, and we can do it. We can definitely
I think you should have some faith in your team, like Toby has top 6. Put your chest out and say it. I think that's what I say. But
listen, he didn't say will we get top 6? Can we make it? I think we can make it. If we can get 7,
will you get top 6?
I'm sticking with my 7th, but let's see where if we stay around the pack up until January, and we make a good signing sign a striker in January, then that's a different animal. That's a whole different story.
Fair play. Listen, big up the panel, big up the chat. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe. Go follow all the man then. Make sure you do that. Total Screamers and AV Billy. Make sure you go over to @the_Lawless and West Ham Fan TV. Make sure you go over to It's LB. And of course to Dave's 2010 and Loaded Mag in UFC. Make sure you go follow all these guys as well, because they're putting out daily content. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. And as always, up the Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners.